Welcome back to the Field of Dreams, the medieval church site. And wow, hopefully you've seen part 1 and you've seen part 2. My God, what a day. The best days metal detecting I've ever had in 24, almost 25 years, a quarter of a century. 5 hammered coins from the 1200s and a gold half sovereign in a day, along with 5 or 6 other coins and a few other possible old items. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And finds from the time of William Wallace and Robert the Bruce. It doesn't get any better than that. So if you haven't seen them, go back and take a look. But we're back on the medieval church site, and I have been waiting and waiting for days for this moment. Fingers crossed there's going to be more to come. I've got the ploughed field next door which has started to drain and maybe will be worth a shot later on, but for the moment we'll concentrate on this one. So let's see what we can find. Just 5 minutes in, we've got our first digger, and it's a mid-tone 42 to be honest. I think it's going to be charcoal or hot rock, whatever you want to call it. But you're not going to dig it. Not in a field that's produced gold and 5 hammered coins. In here, it is. We're in with a bit of tin foil. Well, there you go. Beautiful. Well worth the wait. But that's what happens with metal detecting. And that could well have been a hammered coin because similar readout. So it goes into the pouch. Okay, we've got a decent signal, probably the best one so far. It's an 89-91 bottle top Georgian coinage. It's in that kind of territory. I mean, it could be aluminium. There's a worm, that's a good sign. Wherever there's a worm, there's a gold coin. Or a hammered coin. In this field, the worms seem to have hoarded all the good stuff. And I can see the telltale sign of a bottle top. Watch out for glass. Oh, it's got a refundable 10p deposit on it. Does that count as a coin? Well, there you go. Yet again, we've got the numbers we want to see. Chirpy 70-71. Honestly, metal detecting is like a drug. It really is. It's such a phenomenal hobby. One more and then we'll get the pinpointer out. The emotions. Oh. Still reading a solid 70. A little bit tinny though. But yeah, the emotions that you can go through, what's that? Are quite something. Well, it's a thing, and it's looking kind of slightly old. Let's get the magic brush and tool. It's got a hole in the middle. No, it doesn't. Well, it might do, and it's folded over on it. Well, is it lead? It could be. It could be lead. But it's a funny little shape. No, I think it actually might be a copper alloy. So it's a thing. Unknown. Is that medieval? Is it 100 years old? It's got a bit of coloration to it, so it's been in the ground for a while anyway. But if you know, comment below. This time we've got a lovely sounding 80. Very crisp sound, that one. A button, possibly, maybe a bit of lead. I've had a few fragments of lead so far. We're out. Well, the wet ground is certainly going to be helping with the signals. It's just a shame that this field is stubble. What's that there? We're in here, we've got a clod. Oh, we might have a coin. I think we might have. Could be a button though. But yeah, it's just a shame the field is stubble because it's quite difficult to get close to the ground on occasion. Any sign of a dimple in the middle? Not on that side. We might have a coin. It's quite thin. It's maybe going to be Georgian, or maybe even William and Mary. I'll dry it out and then we'll get back to you with a bendy thumb. Coin number 1, hopefully. There is a little bit of detail there. We'll give it the old bendy thumb treatment, the burnish. As I've mentioned many times before, with copper coins you don't want to wet them. You can lose the surface of the coin. Don't ask me why, considering it's in wet ground, but it does. I'm sure someone with a scientific brain will know. Well, I think it says Britannia, so it looks like a halfpenny. That's the reverse. There is Britannia, with an outstretched arm, and maybe another one there, big ball gown. It's going to be Georgian. No, it's a cracker. Look at that, Georgios 111, George III. That's a beauty, a real beauty. Good detail. Coins are quite mixed in this field. They're either coming out looking really good or a little bit crusty, but that's not bad at all. George III, so it's going to be sometime between 1760 and 1820, and it says Georgios 111 Rex, King. So I've mentioned many times before, George III, 1760 to 1820, 60 years on the throne, the final 10, his son had to take over because his father was in a state of delirium for the best part of 10 years before he died. Pyphoria is what they think the illness was, but some people think he could have been, what's the word? I've forgotten. Anyway, someone will know what I'm talking about, but like a sort of personality, mental health disorder. And he was married to Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg. They met for half an hour before they got married. They were married for their entire lives, and he never took a mistress. And I think they had 13 children. Incredible. And all of them, I think, survived till adulthood as well, which is unbelievable, even for the monarchy. Brilliant. Coin number 1. Great start. Been going for about 35 minutes. It's got to be coin number 2. Listen to that. Solid 87. It's a penny all day long. I'm going to go with Victoria. Nope. Queen Victoria. 1 penny. Maybe. We're out. Well, I can see something round right there. We've got a clod. It's green. Ugh, doesn't look in great condition. Well, there you go. It's round. It's green. It's very green. What a strange looking coin, if it is a coin. I think it might be. Could be another Georgian. Oh, that's incredibly green. My goodness. Well, it's got the same thickness and a very similar size to the last coin. So, yet again, I'm going to dry this out off camera and get back to you. Just for comparison of size, absolutely identical. The difference is that the green one is pretty battered. I might have clipped it with a spade as well, or that's been done by the plough. Let's blame the plough. Very green, can't see any detail on there at all. It's an irregular shape, it's also an irregular thickness. Chunky at some parts, thinner at others. I don't know, it might be earlier than George III. It might be George II, George I, or even back to William and Mary, Gavilimus. So it could be any time 1688 all the way through to 1820. But it looks like another halfpenny. So 2 coins, and I'm a pretty happy man so far. I think I've dug about 15 targets so far in about an hour and a half, and a lot of them, over half of them, have been between 50 and 70. And this is another. This one's a 52, 53, and all of them have turned out to be tinfoil or a wee slither of aluminium. This one's still a 53, it's out. But each one of them, you think, hammered coin, hammered coin. And that's not a hammered coin. That is gold. But I think it's a bullet. It is. It's a bullet casing. With a gold. Oh, it's brass. That's what it is. Oh, well, I thought maybe for a wee minute I had something interesting there, but no. Right about here, another one of those readouts. 72, 74. Initially, it sounded pretty good, but now it's a wee bit squeaky. Spade? Nope, it's there. Now it doesn't sound good at all, it sounds like iron. Is that there? There we go. Oh, that's part of a knife, that's why. That is yet another folding knife. You can see either side, 2 plates. In the centre, very corroded away, is an iron blade. Let's give it a wee clean out. So yeah, it's a little folding pocket knife. So you can see the remnants of the iron blade, copper alloy either side, pins, so there would have been a bone or a wooden handle, and within the centre would have been a knife that would pull out. So not particularly old, I don't think. A couple of hundred years old at best, but still, it's a find. A cheeky wee 47.50, 49.50. More of the dreaded tinfoil, possibly. But it's not a big target. Ugh, it's gone irony. Either that or I've thrown it on a bit of iron. I should have checked first. But let's see. Oh, glimpse of tin. Oh, dropped it. I've dropped it, but I can't see where I've dropped it. Get out the way. It was small, whatever it is. I think it's just a wee fragment of... There it is. It's just a wee fragment of something. I tell you what, it's not a fragment. Well, it is a fragment, but it's not what I thought it was. It's a hammered coin. I'm pretty sure it is. Yet again, well, it's a piece of a hammered coin. It's broken. It's maybe a quarter with a broken edge. 100%. 100%. Well, I'm quite a distance away from the last, from where the others came from. So that's a good sign. There you are, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, what a shame that's broken. Look how clear the letters are. R-I-C. Probably Henrik. Henry. Probably an H-E-N-R-I-C. Henrik. Get you in focus would help. It is another hammered coin. And it's an early one. It's a short cross. It's a short cross hammered coin. See how the cross doesn't go all the way to the edge? So that means it's even earlier. So it might not be a Henry. It's voided and it's short cross. So voided is because it's got that line down the middle of the cross. And my understanding is that Henry III is the first one that takes the cross all the way to the edge, because people used to clip the coins, so they would trim off the outside edge. And the reason they put the cross all the way to the edge was to prevent that, or try to prevent that from happening. But it doesn't seem to have worked. So if this is a voided short cross, then this is either going to be Richard, Henry, or John, which I think puts it away back to the beginning to the middle of the 1200s. There is a bit of a sort of, almost looks a bit like a cloud going on there, which I think is a hairline or a beard. Not quite sure which way's up. Well, probably something like that is probably up, because Henry would be at the top right. But if it does say Henry, it doesn't mean it's Henry. Apparently they used the same dies for Richard, Henry and John. They didn't bother to change them. So they just kept minting the same coins even though the king had changed. But it's English. Yet again, it's English. What have I got to do to get a Scottish coin? But that is fantastic. What a shame it's broken, because that would be a very, very nice coin. I have recorded the find in the sat-nav, the GPS even. I can show you this because it doesn't give away any of my location. But you can see there, that's 50 metres, which is 150 feet. So you can see the distance between this broken coin, which I've recorded as number 18, and the cut half. It is about 150 metres. So that's about 500 feet. In contrast, it's about the same again to where the three hammered, or the pair of hammered coins came up 10 foot apart. So quite a big area that they're spread over. But I will use this information to pass on to the museum, but more importantly to see if I can learn anything about concentrations. So well worth having a GPS if you can. 88. And it could be a coin. It could be a coin. I should be able to get a plug out here because it's grassed over. Hopefully. Yep. There we go. We're in there amongst the worms. I can see something oval shaped right there, which is actually a piece of slate, roofing slate. Could have sworn that was metal. We've got a clod. We've got a clod. Ah! We've got a silver. I don't think it's old. It looks like... Oh, look at that for an imprint. That's a beauty. A beauty. It's Gorgeous George. Gorgeous George. Let me actually just get a photo of this. I'll be back to you in a sec. Always good for my social media to get a nice wee picture. Ah, it's not going to come off on that side. Here's another worm. The worms are attracted to the gold and silver. It's a shilling. It is a shilling, and it's Gorgeous George. So gold and silver of George V from the same field. Let's get my spray bottle out. I'll give it a wee wash. It's got a lovely tone on it. It's that beautiful off-grey colour. Well, I did wonder if it was going to be 90 odd % silver, but it's not. It's 50%. It's 1932. So 50% from 1920 was the content of our silver coins, but it's in very good condition. I don't think that's been in circulation for long before it's been lost. George V. So 1932, in between the war years. He died in 1936. The grandson of Queen Victoria, the son of Dirty Bertie, apparently had a fantastic relationship with his father, which was unusual for the monarchy. Some would say that's still the case when you think of what's going on with Harry and Charles. He was actually serving in the Royal Navy in the Southern Pacific around Australia when a ship that he was on sighted a famous ghost ship called the Flying Dutchman. And there's been stories of the Flying Dutchman going back to the 1600s, I think, which is this ghost ship which never reaches port, which is often sighted out on the open sea. He returned to the UK. He married his brother's fiancée because he had died, Mary of Teck, and she became Queen Mary. Apparently she had a bit of a reputation. If she visited you and she said, "Oh, what a beautiful table," or "What a beautiful chair," or "That's a lovely piece of artwork," she expected to leave with it. So that was her way of saying, "Give me it." So there you go, 1 shilling, which back in the old day was 12 pence, 1/20th of a pound, because there was 240 pence to the pound. And that would probably have bought you 2 pints of beer. Brilliant. As ever, you know my motto, if in doubt, dig it out. Sounded terrible, 42, took the surface off, and it produced this, which is a copper alloy, or even a bronze. And it's got that look to it, like it's been in the ground for a while. I'm almost looking at it thinking, I wonder if it could be part of a vessel, or even part of a pot leg for one of these sort of 3 or 4 legged little pots. But we'll put it into the pile, and it's definitely got that look like it's been in the ground for a while. We have got a 78, 79, probably lead, a little bit high for a hammered. Going as high as 81 now, so it could even be a wee coin. Oh, what have I done with my... there it is. Pinpointer. There's something round. It's a musket ball. Oh! I've dropped it. There it is. It's a musket ball. Well, first one I've had off these fields. So they had firearms. Well, we know we got that brass cartridge, which was fairly modern, but this is a lot older, and it's been fired, I think, because it's got a dimple in the top. Or it could be a misfire and someone's used a corkscrew to get it out the barrel. It's jammed, but either way, it's a musket ball. Probably a small rifle, but it could be a big pistol shot as well. And yeah, it could be 16, 17, even 1800s. Nice find. I almost missed this on account of the stubble being so long here. I'm still on the sensitive full tones programme. It's a very nice 63, 64. Oh, might be able to get a spadeful out, maybe. We're out on 63, quite shallow. As I say, it's a real problem, the length of stubble. I keep jumping between programme, the custom deep programme, we might have a button, or a hammered coin. Oh, I think it's another hammered. It is. I think it is. Don't believe this. I keep looking up to shout someone and there's no one here. It's only me. It was the same in the last video. Ah, it is. It's got to be another hammered coin. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, if it is, please be Scottish. I've not got anything against English hammered coins, but I just so much want to find a hammered Scottish coin. What side will I do first? Let's do this side first. Right, moment of truth. Come on. It's English. And it's another cracker. Oh my god, it is a beauty. Look at that. Oh, look at the tone on that coin. That is amazing. Right, other side, I think it's going to be another Edward. It's It's got a wee dink out it. That wasn't me. I did a very good job with the spade, if I do say so myself. Right, I'm going to dry this off camera. Yeah, there's a face looking right at us. So I think it's another Edward penny. Unbelievable, look at the detail on the back. That is a cracker. Well, it's yet another beautiful coin. It's damaged on the edge. That's old damage, that's not me. But it is intact, there's no crack. This is the reverse with the big long cross with the 3 pellets in each quarter. Again, we've got Civi, TAS, City of. And I can just make out LON DON, so London yet again. So I think all the coins were London bar one was Canterbury on the previous day. So City of London minted in the Tower of London, and you can just make out, if I zoom you in a wee bit, you can just make out the head of Edward. Edward the First, Edward the Second, Edward the Third. I'm not sure. I mean, they all look very similar. I'm going to say Edward the First, but let me know if you know in the comments below. And a lot of people were asking, well, what could you buy? I mean, this coin is going to be, if it's Edward the First, it's going to be from about 1272 to 1307. So slap bang in the period of the first Scottish Wars of Independence with William Wallace, with Robert the Bruce, and the time of Braveheart, without the dodgy accent, for the lead role, Mr. Mel Gibson. So what could you buy for a penny in 1300? Well, I did a bit of research last night out of interest, and you could buy a live chicken for a penny. You could buy a live duck for 2 pence. You could buy a goose, a live goose, for 3 pence. And the average wage for a labourer was 2 pence a day in 1300. In terms of alcohol, which is the most important thing, for 3 pence you could buy a gallon of good wine. So that's like 4.5 litres of wine for 3 pence. For beer, you could get a gallon, 4.5 litres, which is about 9 pints. You could get that for a penny and a half for good quality beer. But if you wanted rubbish beer, paint stripper, then you could get it for 3/4 of a penny a gallon. So 4.5 litres, almost 10 pints for 3/4 of one of these coins. Unbelievable. What a field, what a permission, and yet another fantastic day. I think I said on the previous video that William Wallace might have kissed one of these coins. Highly unlikely that William Wallace, who absolutely detested King Edward I, would have kissed a coin. I think what I meant to say in the excitement was that he might have held the coin. So that's good enough for me. What a find. Well, I'm nearing the end of my time. I've been out for 4 hours. Looking back through the videos there, I think I've dug about 25 holes in 4 hours. So I'm getting a signal, a diggable target roughly every 10 minutes. It's been very quiet for the last 20 minutes though, but finally. 83, unusual. Normally it's 60, 70. Have to say there's very little trash. There's not a massive amount of junk in this field, which is great. And we might actually have a coin or a button right there. It isn't. It might be. That could be a hammered. It might be another hammered coin. Come off. It's not wanting to come off. Oh, it's off. It is, I think. I think it's a copper. Look, I think it's a turner. I think it's a 2 pence. So we've got another hammered coin potentially. Let's give it a wee gentle rub. I can't see a shank, but I think it is. I think it's a turner. I think it's a Scottish 2 pence, which is probably going to be from James VI, Charles I, Charles II, through until William and Mary. So it's going to be sometime from 1567 through until 1700 roughly, but I'll give it a clean up and we'll see if we can get some detail. What a day! Well, it is indeed a turner. I just cannot really get any detail off it though, as is often the case. I'm sure you've seen these before, but a copper 2 pence, and my guess would be it's probably Charles I or Charles II, so sometime between 1625 and 49, or 1660 to 1685. There's definitely a bit of something going on there, but I just can't quite see it yet. Might become more apparent later on once it dries out properly, but 2 pence sometime in the 17th century. So wow, what a day. 3 hammered coins. Well folks, that's us for another day. Unfortunately I've got to go and do some work. I do work very hard, but as you can see I managed to get quite a lot of time for metal detecting, especially over the winter months. So it's been another fantastic day. 3 hammered coins, 2 of them silver. One of the silver's broken, but still back to the latter half of the 1200s probably. This site is amazing, absolutely amazing. Obviously I've GPS'd the targets. They're well spread out. There's a good, with the exception of a pair of coins that came out within 10 feet, everything else is coming out hundreds of feet away from one another. So I don't think it's a hoard. I think it's just casual losses, possibly. As I say, there used to be a chapel here, which is believed to be founded in roughly 1,000 years ago, back in the beginning of the 11th century. There were burials here, 100%. I know that for a fact because antiquarians, which were the early archaeologists back in the day, they were a bit more like Indiana Jones rather than modern day archaeologists. They tend to cause more damage, and they were pretty much treasure hunters. But there's records in the 19th and 20th century of skeletons, of bodies, of burials, of coffins, of pottery and other finds from the chapel area, but it's just all gone now. There's not even a reference. There's no standing stonework for the chapel anymore. But clearly there's been agriculture here, which is something that the monks were very good at. They were great farmers. They were fantastic engineers when it came to irrigation, water, land improvements and so on. So they would have been farming the land around the church. There could even have been a grange here, which is a type of early farmstead, which was also like a IT building as well, from which they would manage the land. And they had, in this area, they had thousands of acres bestowed on them by the king, and also by various nobles as well. So I'm sure there's going to be more to come. Other fields I've not even been in yet, so definitely more to come. Right, let's have a wee look at the finds. That's the best of the best. So 6 coins, or fragments thereof. 1, 2, 3 of them hammered. A beautiful silver shilling of George V, which is 1932, 12 pence back in the old days, or 1/20th of a pound. A lovely wee George III halfpenny. Beautiful bust on it. Pretty good condition. I think this is the same coin. I think it's another halfpenny, possibly George II or first, but it could be George III as well. Might get a bit of detail off that when I get home. We'll see. In fact, there might actually be just there. See the little tail coming off? That could be it just there. So it may well be another George III. So they were very close together. That's the beautiful penny with a little clip out it. Not done by me, which I think could be Edward I. Beautiful condition. Minted in the Tower of London. That'll be sometime between 1272 and 1307. And that is a broken short cross penny. So probably Richard, John or Henry. And probably from the beginning to the middle of the 1200s. And then last but not least, a copper 2 pence, a turner as we call them, which is probably from Charles I or II in the 1600s. Fantastic. What a day. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to get back out here again. First chance I do, I will be back. So we're up to, that's 8 hammered coins in total, 7 of them silver, 1 copper. Incredible. That's what dreams are made of. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see and you're not already subscribed, then please hit that button. Also, I got a new video up on my Visit Scotland Tours channel, so if you want to learn more about history and stories from Scotland, then pop over for a look. So thanks for watching and take care. See you on the next dig.